Fear of missing out because Jojo isn't busy enough. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. The way to get I think one of that's a very common feeling that we all experience, especially when you're younger, right? When you're a little bit older, you realize nobody else is doing anything interesting anyway. So, 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 but if you really want to ground yourself in that, then I think it's important to think about what you're actually leading. So, FOMO, I think, is fear of missing out, but it's also, I think, it's fear of being a follower. So, in the sense that if you're following something else and that thing isn't there anymore, then you've lost your guidance, right? So then you're like, okay, what am I doing? But I think as long as you know what's in your head is actually is the most leading stuff, then you won't feel so much FOMO. You'll feel the opposite. You'll feel a fear of being first, FOBF, right? So that you just replace one with the other. But okay, all right. Let's launch into this, Gunny. Show me what's going on. No problem. Okay, let me ask Diva if she wants to throw in her quick guide for us there. Okay. Because everybody, there's some sit-ups over here in squat 2 room. There's some sit-ups over there. Rizal's running around over here. There's some people having a cigarette. So I get the general feeling that the content isn't. Oh, okay. All right. Rizal's here now. So let me unplug. Okay. Welcome in, Rizal.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right. So Gunny was asking why it's so quiet here. I said it's because nobody wants to talk. Oh shit! Right. Let me re-click in. Give me a second. All right. Okay, Gunny.
Yeah.
All right. How's that? Okay.
Yeah.
I had to unplug my AirPods. Yeah, I think somebody died or something. I don't know. It's like kind of sad now. We got Elo an assistant.
What?
Elo. Now she has an assistant, and we have 2 meals a day. We have lunch and dinner. So that's kind of like. I think everyone comes back for dinner. You only see people during meal times. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it smells good here. It smells like Japanese curry. It's amazing.
Oh, I miss food that.
I know. So okay, let's jump into this, Gunny. Show us what you got, huh?
Okay, so first on all business from Diva. Okay, weekly point to inspire the whole team. Okay, let's open it. Okay, I read this book. Oh yeah, this book. Okay, so what is new? It is murder your darlings one. Creativity doesn't pay the bills. Your goal is not being president reports, but to be smart, especially newspaper achievement and a fun time bomb. Sadly, don't feel that it's better now. I'm not getting with this one.
Okay, sure. I'll go ahead and Gunny, if you can pass it to me, I'll explain what I think this means.
Yes, Teresa, please.
Okay.
Please.
I think Diva's actually bringing up some very, very, very good points. So this is also a friction that we've commonly had with the creative people in content. So the aspect of what we're doing in terms of copywriting and digital marketing, murder your darlings is a perfect word for it. So when I asked Rizal back a long time ago during his trials, what do you think of this Bukit Vista video, right, that showed Bali is safe? He said it's not very good. And so, if he had told that to the person who created that, person would have cried and punched Rizal in the face. But why is that not very good? Because it's a darling. For the person who created that project, it was like an act of love, right? It's an act of it's like a pet. I'm making this piece of content because it's my pet. I want to nurture it. I want it to look good. So you got to kill that. You got to kill that and think of, okay, is it actually just creative and it's cute? Or is it actually smart? And so smart, what does it mean? It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound. So I think that is the biggest difference between, let's say, art for art's sake and art that's actually awesome. Steve Jobs had a saying. He said, real artists ship. So real artists ship. And what that means is exactly, I think, what we're saying here. It means that if you want to be an artist, your stuff has to sell, right? Other people have to consume it. Otherwise, you're really just creating this for yourself. And so how do you know it's just for you? It makes you smile, right? You want to show your coworker, say, hey, look at my funny thing, right? And then when you ask yourself, will this person who reads this actually buy it? You go, no, right? So that means we have to compromise creativity for something that's smart. And I think that takes a while for a lot of people who are coming out of art school or other sort of creative backgrounds to understand that it's not just about how, let's say, what is creative and interesting, but it's about, is it specific? Does it address a certain need? Can you measure it? Can you achieve it? Is it relevant? And is it time bound?
Okay, so sorry. So you mean that in order to make something, you have to have a goal. You have to have some point.
Yeah, you should have those 5 things. Just think smart, specific. If you just start writing about whatever, hey, look, I was walking down the street and then I met my friend and then my friend told me about this and then we had a chat, we sat down, so it's not specific, right? It's just sort of like it's like jalan. You're not really going anywhere. You're just going nowhere. Is it measurable? Meaning, like, can you actually see if this thing is actually getting any viewers? Is it getting any opens? Is it getting any of these things? If it's not, then it's not very useful, right? We can't measure anything about this piece of content, then there's not too much value to it. Is it achievable? If we set like a goal and we say, hey, look, we want to get 1 million readers or 1 million people on our Instagram by 2020, can we actually do that, or is that way out of control?
Okay.
And is it relevant? Meaning, are we writing things for ourselves, or are we writing things for who? Writing relevance is so important. When you post, okay, for example, our YouTube right now is essentially a documentation channel. We just put all our documentation there. So when people come there, and they go like, your YouTube's not entertaining, I go, that's right, and perhaps that's our mistake, right? YouTube is generally seen as an entertainment platform, an entertainment media, but it's relevant to the right audience. It's relevant to new recruits. It's relevant for somebody who studies like, how do I get a promotion here? It's relevant for somebody you want to train and you don't want to tell them the whole thing over again. Say, just please watch this video. So we have to consider what the audience and if this is relevant to that audience. Not doesn't mean the content's wrong. It just means it might not be relevant to the person. Yeah, for somebody looking for cool movie trailers and they watch an hour of us having a meeting, it's right, throw up. But for somebody maybe who wants to get into the company and wants to see what we're doing, and we expect them to know something about the company before, it's very relevant. So that's that.
Fine.
Okay, last part is time bound. If we set projects with infinite amounts of time and you can get it done whenever you want, come back to me in a week, come back to me in 3 weeks, come back to me in 300 weeks, then there's no time boundary. So this happens a lot in writing because essentially you just keep on, it's not perfect yet, it's not perfect, I need to write a little bit more, and then this keeps on getting delayed and it just doesn't work. So time boundary is also fairly important. So I understand this right away. This book is actually fairly cool. It reinforces a lot of the values we've spoken about, and that's one of the values. Be smart.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. At least make it valuable. Yeah. Make it useful. Yeah. I got it. Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's nice. Yeah. What do you think, Rizal?
Ask for discussion, Gary.
Oh, okay. So, what do you think, Rizal?
Okay, I think it's like if creativity has a smart way, it may be creativity can be more keep on track on what we gonna do. So yeah, it's important to creative people to be guideline for the books.
So it can be to attract people. Yeah. What it makes you smile. You wanna show it to the coworker with look at his screen. So can you explain more about this, sir?
Sure. I think this means that you've written something that is amusing for yourself, but it's not really valuable. Like, I'll give you an example of something that we do now that might have this problem. It's not in copywriting, it's in leaving notes, right? So I trained Rian, Ivan, and a bunch of people, Eva, to leave notes, making like Balinese drawings and such, right? And the intent of that wasn't to actually show that we could draw a Balinese drawing. The intent of that was to give them something that's very, very iconic, local, and feels like, you know, it's tied to the geography they're coming in, and it's very personal. So the issue with that is some people are just drawing leaves, right? And I think one of the guys is drawing surfers. That's relevant. But essentially, if you draw something that makes you smile, makes you, hey, this is cool, I like drawing this, but it doesn't necessarily address the audience need, right? So it's something that amuses you. Hey, look at my cool drawing. Here, let me show you this. It shows that you're creative. It shows that you're proud of it, but you're missing the point. You're missing the point because you're not looking at what the end goal is. Is it measurable? Is what you're drawing measurable, and is it relevant? Does this drawing actually mean something to not you, not to your friend who's sitting next to you, but to the person who studies that note? Do they keep it in their pocket and go, wow, that's a great drawing, I want to save this? Or do they go, good, great, throw it away, you know? And so that's, I think, what this warning is about. It's essentially saying, please, don't just consider yourself as the end audience. Don't just consider your buddy as the end audience. Consider your readers. And if you see that it's just pleasing yourselves, then it's a good sign that you need to throw this away.
Okay, good. Got the point, sir. Got the point. Okay, good. Okay, so shall we move to next of this? Okay, let's move to. Okay, so on the Matrix template. Okay, so this is I know this. This is very useful for our content team.
Is it?
Yeah.
Stepping time, it can be like template,
Really? I'm happy to hear that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you guys are using it, then that's so helpful. I'm so happy about that. I have an update on this, Mr. Chairman. So I went to Gay and Charles. They're the owners of Villa Chantik here in Jimbaran. So they've been complaining about the copywriting wasn't good, the copywriting wasn't good. I read them this. Actually, I invited Gay to come here for our copywriting discussion. She didn't show up. But anyway, I think it's one of those I'll go, but she doesn't show up, right? But here's the point. I read them this whole thing, and they were like, that's excellent, that's poetry. That's beautiful, right? And what they didn't know was that it was a template, actually. So we just took the parts, we took the form and the prose from something else, and then we just substituted the trees, the stone, and the furniture and all that stuff in. And so yeah, it works really well. The owners couldn't have been happier with it.
Oh yeah, my question is, what thing that the owner said that it wasn't good, wasn't.
In the beginning, they complained about it because I forgot what the exact complaint was, but they said that essentially it wasn't. Okay, I'll give you the word they used. We used wholesome to describe one of the rooms. It was like a wholesome tropical experience. Wholesome tropical experience. Wholesome is not the correct adjective to describe, I think, a like something fun, right? It's like, here, if you're trying to sell a nightclub or an exciting restaurant, you don't say, hey, you're going to have a wholesome evening here, or you're going to have a wholesome meal here. Wholesome means something that's like, it's has good integrity, it's good for your body, it's healthy, it's like that. And so it's usually associated with things that have strong moral value, right? This is wholesome. Studying, reading, going to church, like these things, these are wholesome activities. But when you apply it to holiday, it sounds kind of, holidays are more about like, sort of exotic.
Pleasure.
Yes, they're more about pleasure. They're more about transformation. So if you say it's wholesome, that's like saying I'm going to go visit my grandma. My grandmother's very wholesome, She's an 80-year-old lady. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink. She has all these great habits. She wakes up at 6 a.m. And so you get that feeling of, okay, that's what it's about. But that takes away all the romance. That takes away all the energy of it. So I think in this particular case,
Mm-hmm.
they were looking for the right vocabulary, but they were also looking for the magic and the flow of the words. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I think we got it. They were happy with this.
Do you notice what listing that they feel like it's not good?
It was one of the. I made an internal. I made an internal open source on it. Yeah,
Oh.
it's on the internal open source. Yeah, there's one of them that has been essentially changed. So it's that one. But
Yeah.
in general, the copywriting was all. I think most of the Chantik listings didn't have this type of prose. In fact, we still haven't changed it yet. But
Mhm.
they approved it. I think it's good. Everyone thinks they like it. So we can use templates now to create our listings. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe on the listing that the owner doesn't like, we can put it on the content journal, on the content seeker, then we can, like evaluate together what's wrong with this, what's better. Yeah. Okay. So good news, good info. So let's move to another hot business from Diba Apple. September. Oh, this is for project, yeah. New article. Okay, let's move on the following listing to improve the title. Okay, so I think we already have done discuss about this, yeah.
But it's not complete, Mr. Chairman.
Oh,
Oh, it is complete. Okay.
the title is. Oh, it's me.
Gunny! Whoops. Whoops.
Oh yeah. What is that? This is Tamu Ibu. I remember. Okay, so what is that level 7 is house with pool, house with advent ornament in several chapter. Whim cycle. What does it mean, sir? Whim cycle architect.
Whimsical is a sort of a feeling like whimsical means you're very carefree, right? Like you're not serious, you're playful, you're just like, hey, I want a vanilla ice cream with kiwi sauce on it, right? So it's very like playful. It's almost childish in a way. It gives a feeling of like you're just making fun decisions, and it's very light. It's not serious. The opposite is serious, grave, intense, right?
Okay.
Whimsical is like the opposite. It's like very light, very fluffy. I'd like to have some cotton candy on top of my steak, right? And it's like, huh? What? That's weird. Why? Because I'm me. I love myself. So whimsical gives a characteristic of being carefree, right? It's a good idea for holidays to be whimsical. Like, I'm on holiday. If I feel like having a ice cream at 9 a.m., then I'll do it. If I feel like having, whatever it is, that's whimsical. Yeah?
Yeah, okay, I agree with that because I have entered the house. Is from the bed sheet, from the color of wall, it is so colorful, sir. The pillow is red, but on the bed sheet is blue, so colorful, playful. Yeah, maybe I will put the title playful. Yeah. Playful family house, maybe all something. Yeah, it's fun, but I will continue it. Family house with pool, maybe. Yeah, it takes some time.
Okay.
Wait, okay. So I will complete later. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so let's move to new business inspiration from me. Oh yeah, to enrich the synonym. Yeah, I think this is good tools for content when we are stuck in the vocabulary. We can find on the thesaurus. Just type. Like on when we are holiday, we put the pleasure, but I think it's too common word to use. So we have a lot of options that can use. Please,
There you go.
enjoyment. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually. to enrich our vocabulary.
That's really good. Yeah, like a satisfying. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pool,
Yeah.
a satisfaction pool, or satisfying pool.
Yeah.
It's not just a
Yeah.
regular pool. It's a.
Okay, great. Oh, we should input this
Hey, yeah.
on
Welcome in.
library. On library. Do you
Yes, we
have
should.
library?
Yes, I'll be your secretary, Mr. Chair, and I'll
Oh, yeah.
add that into
Yeah.
the library.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Please input this on library. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Great. Okay. Like that from user architecturaldigest.com.
Oh yeah.
Pro shaped pavilions.
Sure. Mr. If the chair can open that, I will illustrate what we talked about. I invited Kay here. She can help. She said she's a copywriter. All right.
Oh, this is sunrise.
Yes. Not sunrise. This is Ananda House. So
Oh, another.
I want to bring this up because this is Architectural Digest. It's one of the, I guess, the most leading authorities on doing this type of work, right? Architectural photography, architectural copywriting. So headline, right? And headline. Okay. Ooh, let's be critical. Let's judge somebody else now. So. What do you guys think of this title? This house in Bali is constructed almost entirely of bamboo.
I think it's too basic because the real one it's so yeah, it's right, it's entirely of bamboo, but it's also luxury, but the title is not luxury.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. For me it's too basic.
I think the writer picked the structure of the item because it's not for a selling purpose. It's like for informational purpose, right? So they have a different goal
Okay.
from us.
Right.
And for the
Okay. All right. Cool. Result.
Okay.
No idea.
Okay. Here's my thoughts. I think it's factually correct. And in the context of an architectural thing, there is enough pop. I think the selection of the theme is absolutely correct, right? That is the defining feature of the house. It's made out of bamboo. And the fact that it's almost entirely made out of bamboo is a defining feature. But I do think that it is vanilla ice cream, right? Meaning, yes, it is factually correct, but I think there could be something that's a little bit more energetic or has some character or put some spice into it. I feel like this is like nasi padang with no sauce, with no condiments. It's just like the nasi. So
Yeah.
but then the subtitle is pretty interesting, right? The subtitle has some cool. Oh, we can go back to the subtitle. Back up to the
Oh,
subtitle.
sorry.
Okay. The open air Bali home blends traditional craft and cutting edge technique. So back to like what that was a pretty common tactic that we used before with the Mad Lib, right? With the Mad Lib, we said this blends with that. So we can see what's actually pretty funny. This is actually a pretty common technique. You say this blends with this, and that gives kind of like a boundary to this idea, right? This traditional craft and cutting edge technique. So you have to see it in your mind. It has the best of both worlds, which is kind of an interesting subtitle. Okay, it starts with a person, so it starts with people. I think Architecture Digest often talks about the owner and then the architect. But the one I thought that was really the key that we never thought about before was the prow-shaped roof. If I can, I'm looking for prow. Prow! Prow! Prow-shaped roof. Okay. Okay. I can't remember where I saw that. Oh, here it is. Individual prow-shaped pavilions. Now that was really creative. What is a prow?
I can find it.
Right there. You're touching it.
Oh, this one, yeah.
He looks like dictionary. Okay, guys. A prow is basically a part of a ship, right? It essentially is like I believe it's the front of a ship, which is really creative. Somebody was able to look at that roof and then go, that looks like an upside down ship, actually, right? And so when you're able to say that ends. Oh God, you can even blend that even more. You can wrap with that, right? So it's like a prow-shaped roof, reminiscent of the Indonesian maritime culture, like a Finisi, right? And then you can blend all this stuff together into a story. You can say, okay, the roof is like a boat. The boat then is like this part of Indonesian culture that is part of the archipelago. So you've made it like a little bit romantic by just taking that idea of the roof, identifying with the ship, identifying ship with maritime, like sort of like an aquatic culture, and then tying it to something that's fairly Indonesian. So that I think is a pretty interesting. Yeah, there you go. Prow-shaped house plants. Okay. So like that crazy angle of that one pillar. Yeah. What was that? Hold on, Nini. So you can say prow-shaped roof in the heartlands of Ubud, right? Or in the heartlands of the jungle, something like that. And that then makes the feature pop. Okay. Anyway, I saw that on AD, so I thought AD is cool. AD gives us some ideas.
Cool. Oh yeah, sir. Please, can you move it from new business to old business?
Sure.
Mr. Secretary.
Yeah.
Okay, so move to result. The title idea work. So what's new here?
Yes, I think it's helpful to content people to write some word to the title, and maybe we can put the Dream Cycle word to this word.
Sure. Okay, I will.
On what
Mood.
what hour? Oh, mood. Oh.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Dream cycle.
There it is. Done.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, good. Okay, I think just one word, yeah, one new word, yeah. Okay, it's good. Okay. Oh, if it's done, can you move it to office into
Yes, sir.
office, sir? Yes. Great. Move to review from Ivan. We have a new automatic script for living review. So, what is the update?
Oh, that's just what. Ah, fucker! What did I do? Sorry, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chair. I've disappointed the committee. No, that's just an update. So Ivan has his review management system, and yeah, it's been built. So that's I didn't know about that.
Still in progress, yeah.
It's done. It's done. So it works to automate our reviews now. Yeah.
Okay.
But not the replies, just the leaving a review for a guest.
Okay. Well, when it's done, you can delete it. Okay, great, thank you, sir. Oh yeah, one thing that in my mind about this copywriting is since we're doing different actor, I think you and Diva already discussed this. Since we're doing different actor, we change the copywriting, especially on summary and space. We turn into bullet points. So it
For the property that we keep content of them, which is the meeting our SLA. One of the experiments that the in your photo is changing the copywriting style.
Okay. All right. Is it working better?
Some of them are.
yeah.
That should be a new business as experiments. Yeah? Okay. Copywriting wisdom. Should we add a new section? Knowledge? Knowledge, yeah.
Knowledge, yeah. So basically, I think we only use copywriting on the summary column, yeah, on the listing. And the rest of the description is just bullet point.
Okay. Pros. Okay, summary is pros, and then the rest is the okay, yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good
Okay.
idea.
Okay. Still any discussion, guys? Do you have any news? No? Okay, it is done. Okay. Okay, we should choose another chairman, yeah? Or me forever.
We can rotate. We can rotate.
Okay.
After Gani
Okay.
is
Who's next?
just do it alphabetical. Okay.
Result. Oh.
Sure, Rizal.
No? Oh, result. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the today is.
There's no order now. That's a random order.
Diva. Okay.
Diva hasn't accepted yet.
Oh, sorry.
Accept.
Okay. Alright.
Okay. So I must have to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. For
Thank you.
This fun guild.
We love it. Okay. I'll put the copywriting is fun.